Chapter 20, Annabella. Finally, Windows Vista finished booting. The laptop had only a few basic applications installed. Azer asked, "Is it okay if I download a few free applications from the internet onto the laptop?" The professor replied, "Certainly, go ahead." Azer added, "But it's not connected to the internet." The professor replied, "I'm sorry, but there's no internet here in the apartment." After a brief pause, he suggested, "We could head over to the clinic and use my secretary's computer." He added, "Then, I'll need to call Annabella to get the access code for the computer." The professor moved the old-fashioned phone with a rotary dial and an extra-long cord from the windowsill to the table. He held the receiver to his ear and, while glancing back and forth in his little phone book, dialed the number. Azer could hear the ringing tone from the receiver. Finally, someone picked up the call, and the professor said, "Annabella, it's Nando. I'm sorry for bothering you so late in the evening. I need to use your computer at the clinic. Can you please give me the access code?" Azer could hear a woman's voice on the other end as she asked, "Why is it so urgent?" The professor replied, "It's a long story. It's about my friend Azer from Spain, the one you had booked for this evening. He has a photo with important information, but the quality needs improvement." The woman responded with reluctance, "That computer can't handle such tasks." To Azer, it sounded like a definite no. She continued with a reproachful tone, "Do you remember the last time you infected the computer with a virus, and we lost a lot of patients' records? It took me several months of hard work to recover them, and I'm still not finished." The professor sounded disheartened as he said, "I'm truly sorry about that. I didn't mean to inconvenience you. Good night." He hung up the phone, exchanged a pessimistic look with Azer, crossed his arms, and leaned back in his chair. He resembled a little boy who had carelessly damaged a fine kitchen knife while trying to fix his bike and was now being scolded. After a moment of silence, he spoke in a subdued voice, "I'm really sorry. I want to help you find your girlfriend, but I just don't know how." Azer took a sip of his tea and, alluding to her nationality, asked, "Is Annabella Italian?" The professor replied softly, "Yes, she's Italian through and through." They sat in silence. Azer considered driving back to the city center to find an internet cafe, but so late into the night, they were probably all closed. The cat, Felix, noticed the unusual quietness of both the professor and the guest. It hopped off the windowsill, approached Azer, and rubbed against his leg. Azer picked it up, placed it on his lap, and started petting its neck. Finally, the professor broke the silence, pointing to the cookies, and said, "Help yourself to a cookie. I baked them myself." Azer reached out and took a cookie. As he nibbled on the edge, the sound filled the otherwise silent kitchen. He remarked, "It tastes great. Are they coconut cookies?" The professor confirmed, "Yes, they are. It's the only cake recipe I know. It's so simple to make. You just mix some coconut flour with sugar and a bit of vanilla, then fold it into whipped egg whites. That's it." He added, "Of course, you have to bake them in the oven." Azer intended to express his gratitude for the professor's hospitality and get up, but the cat had made itself comfortable on his lap. With a larger bite of the cookie, he washed it down with some tea when suddenly the phone rang. The professor picked up the receiver, and it was his secretary on the line, saying, "If that photo is so important, why don't you discuss it with Roberto?" The professor replied, "That's an excellent idea. Is he at home?" The secretary informed him, "No, he'll be back in a couple of hours if he doesn't stay out."